My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Jesus, you have a divine capacity to take our breath away, not just for a moment, but forever. During the Last Supper, you offered your disciples a promise that defies human logic. Whoever has my commandments and observes them is the one who loves me, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our dwelling with him. What does it mean to be loved by God? It is not a distant, abstract concept. It is a habitation. He says, we will come to him. God wants to move in. As St. Josemaria reminds us, your soul must be the dwelling place of God. Later, you said something even more astonishing. As the Father has loved me, I also have loved you. Abide in my love. In other words, remain there, stay there, allow me to love you. Do not resist my love. Do not prevent me from giving you proof of my love. Jesus, something inside us wants to say, open the floodgates. Yes, that is exactly what I want, to be loved to the maximum. You want to love me with the very love with which your Father loves you. Just that one thought can sustain our entire interior life. When we open those floodgates, we realize we are hosting divine guests, the three persons of the Blessed Trinity. And since they are very special guests, they must be free to rearrange the furniture, so to speak, so that they will feel at home. That means calling upon the spiritual junk truck to haul away the clutter of our egos so that God can find rest in our interior life. Just imagine the rooms of your soul. What is cluttered? What is locked? What might he move or remove? Attachments, resistance, old habits, clutter in the heart. Jesus, how do you want us to prove our love? Well, it is simple, yet demanding. Whoever observes my commandments. Nothing matters more than seeing your will and fulfilling it. This is the only true source of peace. If this is true, then everything comes down to one question, which St. Faustina heard echoed back from the dead. She tells the following. In the evening, when I was walking in the garden saying my rosary and came to the cemetery, I opened the gate a little and began to pray for a while. And I asked them interiorly, you are very happy, are you not? Then I heard the words, we are happy in the measure that we have fulfilled God's will. And then silence as before. I became introspective and reflected for a long time on how I am fulfilling God's will and how I am profiting from the time that God has given me. We must ask, Lord, what would you have me do? Lord, what would you have me do? If we made every moral choice in the light of your most holy gaze, Jesus, how different our lives would be. As von Hildebrand says, through contemplation, our discernment of what may be justified in the face of Christ is sharpened anew, and our will turns away from everything repugnant to his most holy gaze. Just imagine the impact on society if people of all professions and backgrounds would carry out their daily work with this perspective. What would you have me do? So why don't we? Why do we resist? Usually it's because we have the brakes on. We cling to our narrow vision of the world. We can so easily become absorbed in ourselves. There is today a new phenomenon that raises self-absorption to unexpected levels. Some people spend enormous energy trying to perfect their appearance, measuring themselves constantly against external standards, convinced that everything depends on how they look. When we spend our lives maximizing our appearance or our credentials, we become like the shrimp in the old joke. Picture a skinny little guy who walks into a lumber camp looking for a job. The foreman is skeptical, so the shrimp steps up and fells a towering oak in 90 seconds. The foreman is stunned. Where did you learn that? In the Sahara forest, the guy says. You mean the Sahara Desert, the foreman corrects. The guy shrugs. Sure. Now, we might be efficient at leveling forests, but if we are working in the wrong direction, if we are turning gardens into deserts through our own stubbornness, what have we actually achieved? Self-absorption leads to misery. Even star athletes, at the pinnacle of their game, melt down if their identity has been built solely on themselves. Andre Agassi, one of tennis's greatest players, tells in his autobiography of his lifelong dream of becoming the number one player in the world. Once he had reached that lofty perch, he suffered a major depression. After all those years of sacrifice, simply to become number one, he was overwhelmed by the realization, this is it? Jesus, help us lock on to the Father's will. We want to live with the conviction that our choices matter beyond ourselves. As St. Josemaria wrote, many great things depend, don't forget it, on whether you and I live our lives as God wants. Mary, help us to take the brakes off. We want our divine guests to feel at home, to rearrange the furniture with us. In this way, we will be happy in the only way that lasts, by doing God's will. Let your will be done in me today. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help in putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.